Orleans. It was the final call for someone to separate themselves in the quarterback competition out in New Orleans. Saints hosting the Broncos. Spencer Rattler would get the start, and he would connect with Chris Olave for a 7-yard screen pass. The drive would continue. Later in said drive, he finds Rashid Shaheed across the middle for the first down. That drive would also lead to a field goal. In 3 drives, Rattler goes 5 of 8, 43 yards. It would then be Tyler Shuck's turn. Third quarter is where we pick it up. Saints with a 3rd and 6, and Shuck strip, sack, fumble. So less than ideal, to say the least. Broncos would get a touchdown after that, but Chuck has a chance to respond, and that is what he would do. Moliki Motaval for the first down. Then later in the drive, fourth quarter, Chuck spinning away from pressure, having to create, and does so. Devin Neal picks up the first down. See it on the replay, escaping the pressure, having the presence of mind to find his outlet, makes the connection. A few plays later, he would keep it himself off the zone read. An 11-yard score, 12-play drive. He finishes 5 drives in an impressive way. Final score, just a footnote. That is because Herm Edwards is back with us to discuss that Saints squad. Quite the conundrum that new head coach Kellen Moore finds himself in, trying to decide between second-round pick Tyler Shuck and a second-year signal caller in Spencer Rattler, who started 6 games for the Saints last year. What are we to make of this entire quarterback situation, given that both of these cats have received substantial reps in the preseason?
Well, I think Kellen Moore, obviously, he played quarterback in the National Football League, but he also coached some good quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Prescott, Herbert. So, he has that to look at. Now he has 2 young quarterbacks, one that has been there and one that they drafted. And I think when you look at the preseason right now, it's a coin toss for me when I watch him play. It's going to be the feel of the head coach, Kellen Moore. Who does he feel comfortable with? And I think this could be week to week, according to how the quarterback's going to play, right? This was a 5-12 football team. Everyone's chasing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. It'll be interesting to see who he starts, and does that guy start for the rest of the year?
Yeah, it may not hold for all that long because, to your point, you might as well ride the hot hand given how the preseason totals of completion percentage, sacks, touchdowns, all of those things are pretty much even between these two. So we'll see if that tough decision shakes out to be one that's permanent. Appreciated as always, Coach.
Go back at one another and then go out and make an adjustment like that results in points.
Yeah, it was great. He's a really great veteran on a team like this to have. And just to see him go out there and play that hard for a preseason 3 games, just really unique. Happy for him. Know he's going to have a really strong start to the year, and along with a lot of other guys. But it's good to have that back and forth, just kind of see the field in his eyes, and then make some adjustments.
Now we get to look forward to games that count. What's your confidence level like with the guys in this locker room as you approach the regular season?
Well, they all count. If you're going to strap it up, they all count. You want to win them all. But we're excited to start the season. Get to week 1 and then see what happens.
Sam brought to your room, from the time really you got him in the spring.
Sam's great. He's a great teammate, first and foremost. He shows up to work like he's the starter, and he's excited, to see him succeed like he has this preseason. We've grown close to become really good friends, and I just like how he gets out there and competes, and he takes every day as it's the most important day, and he just the work that he's put in. It's good to see him have some success in the preseason because he deserves it. Well, he means a lot. He's a veteran for this team. He has a lot of experience. He's a great receiver in his own way, and he just goes out there and competes, and that's all you really want to ask for a receiver is a guy that will go out there and give you his all and go out there and compete, and he does that at a high level. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's going to continue to do it.
A couple of injuries that came up in the game. Landon Young, we'll see how that goes with the ankle. Shane Lemieux with the ankle. We had a few ankles come up here. Christian Boyd with a little hand, and everyone else, there's a few other bunch of bumps and bruises that obviously we'll have to navigate over the next couple days. But love the effort, love the energy that our guys played with. I felt like, you felt the dome for that first quarter. It felt a little bit like a regular season game with ones versus ones. Tons of really good work in there. And, ultimately didn't get the goal at the game of getting the victory. Came up short. When the moment presents itself, we got pounced on a couple opportunities and we weren't able to. And so, tons of good film for us to go through. And then obviously the challenging aspect of this thing is just the roster transactions that we have to do for this next week. So we'll have to make some really tough decisions and try and keep as many of these guys as we can. So open up for questions.
How soon do you expect that roster cuts and things like that will begin? Do you like to start that right after the game, or do you want to do that?
We'll review this game, have those discussions initially on Sunday. Monday we'll continue that discussion. Obviously we know the deadline ultimately is Tuesday, so the bulk of that will be done on Tuesday. And we'll see if there's anything that needs to be addressed maybe on Monday as well.
And just to be clear, when you say have those discussions, you mean discussions among the coaching staff, or you're starting the discussion with the players on Sunday?
No, not with the players on Sunday. Sunday's an off day for the players. I think for all the coaches and the personnel department, for us to get together, watch this film, evaluate it, have the necessary discussions that we need to have, and there'll be really healthy discussions. We got a lot of competition on this team. There'll be a lot of challenging things that we'll ultimately have to make decis on.
Do you have a timetable yet for when you want to announce a starting quarterback for the regular season?
Yeah, we'll go through this process. We'll study the film Sunday. We'll have those discussions, and then at some point next week we'll make that decision and communicate with certainly the players first and foremost, and we'll get it to everyone else as well.
Do you feel like you saw anything one way or another from either quarterbacks that maybe starts to sway you already, or are you trying to keep everything?
I thought there was a lot of good by the quarterbacks. There's a couple missed opportunities, and but I thought they were going through the right process. Both guys, I think had some opportunities in there. Tyler had an awesome run down in the red zone. I thought he used his feet pretty well in this game, and so there's some good stuff. And I felt good that we were able to get Jake in there just because last week just the way the game played out, we weren't able to get him those reps, and so I felt like it was really awesome to get him a couple series in there. And so I know all three of these guys, they want to play the whole game and they want to play as long as they can, and that's a challenging aspect of preseason. You got to navigate that.
Obviously, Spencer got to start with the first string the entire time they were in the game, and then Tyler came in with the second string. I mean, if it was like more of a competitive atmosphere, would they have taken turns and both played with the starters?
We had discussed, a lot of the ones were kind of independent of the quarterback situation. We just felt like Spencer had gotten to enough reps that we saw some work there. We wanted to make sure we were going to give enough reps and then place into some situations that Tyler was able to get into, which, play in earlier in the game. His first game he played, the last drive of the second quarter against the Chargers. And so we felt like we got some good work for him, today.
Just maybe for the sake of being thorough, it's not like a consideration, at least at this point, to bring in a veteran, right? You've been pretty thorough on it's going to be one of these guys, correct?
Yeah, we feel great about this group. We've invested and poured a lot into these guys. These guys are young guys. They're going to keep growing each and every day, and we're excited to see where this thing goes for all of them.
Obviously, you want to, balance seeing what these guys have while also, not, I guess, quote unquote, tipping your hand out there and running too much stuff to get